Okay. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Women's Wellness. And this evening, we're talking about sound healing. Sister Ajay and I, welcome, Sister Ajay. How are you?
Peace and blessings, everyone.
Okay. So, we wanted to talk about sound healing this evening, the different ways that you can use sounds to be able to not only relax and help you meditate, um, but facilitate your own healing. Because if you can become calm, you can tap into your own inner healing. Um, and we need to use what's available to us or to discover what's available to us. So that's what we want to talk about and meditate on this evening. So, when we talk about sound, Sister Ajay, what comes to mind in terms of healing and um, becoming still? What kind of ways have you used sound for your own healing modalities as well as uh, the sisters that you support in your healing work?
Well, I feel like music is the universal language of the planet. And so most high energetic beings love sound, love music. It's a way to bring peace into your life. It brings joy. It brings happiness. You can reminisce with sound. Sometimes sound, I know I use it to go back to my inner child. When I
Hmm.
hear songs that I used to listen to when I was a little girl and how they made me feel, I use those now and I can take myself right back to that space.
Hmm.
So sound, I think, reaches a lot of frequencies and it touches all aspects of our nervous system and our cellular system. And so
Hmm.
that's why you can feel sound. You don't only listen to sound, you can feel sound. You feel it in your soul. You feel it in your heart. And that's what I have utilized for my own healing. Sound also gets me still. Certain hertz music, certain instrumental, jazz is sound, bath healing. Classical music is sound bath healing. So there's
Hmm.
different levels of music that you can utilize for healing and sound bath healing. I use it for my chakra class when they're meditating. I put headphones on them where they can listen to their signature frequency. So I use sound a lot because I know we are used to listening to words, but when you listen to hertz or instrumental music, you're not distracted by words.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah.
so for me, when I first started meditating, that was one of the things I had to work on is distractions
Hmm. I think that's
because
really common for a lot of
very,
people. Hmm.
we're highly distracted. So I used instrumental music where I don't focus on words. I'm focusing more on sound.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think that helps people get into a stillness. It brings about a peace and it brings about relaxation for me.
Hmm. Hmm.
And so that's why I'm very integrated and connected with sound. I love sound. I love music. I love rhythm. I love high frequency music. I like house music. I like Afro beats.
Oh yeah, yeah, me too.
All
I
of that,
love house
all of
music
that
and Afro
is
beats.
sound therapy. All of that is
Hmm.
sound therapy. And then that sometimes brings you into dance
Hmm. Hmm.
where you're actually moving to the sound and you're utilizing your spirit and your soul to move, not so much using your mind.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that helps
Absolutely.
you get into a meditative state.
I'm glad you mentioned house music and Afrobeat music. I love both of those genres. And one of the things that I also love that I think is connected in house and Afrobeat music is the drum. See, we like the rhythm. So I also love African drumming, not only to listen to, but when you mention dancing, if you are in a space and a place where you feel free and you're dancing, that can be a form of meditation. That could be a form of reset. That's one of the things about house music. I'm smiling because I'm thinking about a good friend of mine that sent me a playlist. Um, of some music that we both are familiar with when we were teenagers. Well, yeah, maybe like 18, 19, 20, around there. And we used to go out and dance a lot in New York. And that music, listening to that playlist, took me right back. Like you said, it is a when we talk about music and we talk about songs that we're familiar with, we're kind of, how I would say, we're kind of connected to that frequency and the memories, not only in our minds, but our emotions and our bodies to a certain extent. Um, because those memories take us right back to that particular time. So even though that was a long time ago that I went out with that particular friend, when I hear that music, I'm still inspired to dance, to get up and dance, to get up and move, and that's a good way to kind of release stress and refocus. I think that people need to be reminded that meditation can take different forms. And people might not realize that dance and music, because they go hand in hand, can be a type of meditation, because can be a type of healing, because definitely people get lost in that process, meaning surrender, release their feelings, release their emotions. So, one of the things that I always like to recommend is use your your playlist, use your digital tools and create your own lists, create your own playlists. I have house music playlists, I have jazz, I have African music, different types of African music, meditative music, all kinds of different playlists that assist me to kind of come back to focus. And that's one of the beautiful things about the time that we live in, because we have these. So you can always put your headphones in and be in a particular place. So, Sister Ajay, when we talk about sound and music and memory, what other ways have you experienced using sounds for yourself or your clients?
Oh wow. Um, Sound, I've used it for healing. I like poetry. I like
Mm.
spoken word. Um, I like to listen to old uh speeches from Martin Luther King, from Malcolm X, from Amos Wilson, from John Henrik Clark. Maya Angelou. It puts me in a state of uh, meditation as well, and meditating on power. It just
Mhm.
depends on what I'm seeking to feel or what my soul needs. That is what I'll seek out as far as sound. And so, um, with these days and times right now, with us not having a strong leadership, I like listen to different elders that have
Mhm.
transitioned, um,
Mhm.
for points of power, for motivation, for inspiration, for um, groundedness,
Mhm.
to alleviate fear.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
even though these are strong times, they went through a lot more than what we're going through right now. And so when I listen to things of previous times, it gives me motivation that we too can get through this,
Mhm.
because we're not being hosed down. Dogs are not getting, sawed onto us. And, we're able to move around a lot more freely than some of our ancestors were able to move around. So it gives me motivation, it gives me empowerment, it
Mhm.
liberates me, it fuels me to go stronger, to
Mhm.
go harder, to lift my head up and not feel defeated by this society and a lot of the things that we see from day to day. So I use sound in that way. I have all of Martin Luther King's speeches on a CD, and I listen to that very often. I have a lot of Malcolm X's speeches. I like looking at documentaries. They have sound. It's
Mhm.
all it's sound is everywhere. Like I said, it's a universal language. So depending on what my soul desires and what my soul is seeking, I will, seek out sound.
Mhm.
I like to listen to old church hymns when grandmothers used to hum. That
Mhm.
soothes me, when
Mhm. Mhm.
mm, mm, that does it for me.
Mhm.
That does it
Mhm.
for me. A lot of
Give
times when
thanks. Mhm.
I'm feeling discouraged, um, I'll listen to, old hymns from Pentecostal and different, Baptist churches, when people really, really was counting on the Most High to bring them through some tough
Mhm.
times. And all you could do sometimes, all your grandmother could do was hum.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. That surrender. The in the humming is a surrender, but I'm glad that you brought up words and the hymns, because there's also and when you brought up our ancestors, our previous leaders, Dr. King, Malcolm X, um, there's a resonance in our voices, and when you, like in their cases, when they were speaking, that connection that they had with their inner self to something greater than them, because like you mentioned, at the time that they were living in and the tasks that they were taking on, or rather the the mission, so to speak, their resonance speaks to tapping into something greater than themselves. It's kind
Right.
of like a vibration. It's not just their words, it's the vibration of their voices in that,
Mhm.
in how they said the words that
Yes.
can make you feel a particular way. And, it leads me to the thing that just popped into my head is, we're talking about sounds, and we connect it into words. It also leads me into the words that we speak. the things that we say to ourselves and
Mm-hmm.
to others, there is also, um, if you are aware of it, there's also healing in the choice of your words.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I'm going to put this comment on the screen. Peace, Sister Sabrina. Ashe, Ashe. Thank you. Thank
Peace
you.
is peace.
Okay. And I also want to put peace and love to you as well. I'm
Sister.
not
Yeah.
sister. I'm not sure of your name, so I won't use your. But peace and love to you as well. Um, so yeah, the words that we choose are connected to sounds, and the words that we choose, and specifically how we address ourselves, that's connected to sounds and vibration, a resonance.
Mhm.
And sometimes, when I mention this, some people might say, well, that doesn't really matter too much. And what I would say to them is, if you are someone that listens to or uses a lot of curse words, a lot of derogatory references, try out not using them and replacing them with for example, I'm going to give a big example. um, we make an effort um, to address each other as Sister Aj, Sister Omi. Now, that is a much different resonance than if we were to refer to each other with the B word. It would not have the same kind of, like, like if we were doing this live stream and I said, okay, and what do you think, Aj? B, Aj, some of the ways that we talk to each other, okay? So what I'm trying to illustrate without saying it, it would be a different resonance. As a matter of fact, many of you would be like, what? What did she say? You would not expect that we would address each other in a derogatory way, right, Sister Aj?
Right, but
Because,
it actually has become a word that people have normalized.
right, that's, yeah, that
Show
they have
signs
normalized.
of
Hmm.
some imbalance within our culture is because derogatory words have been reutilized or repurposed as words of endearment when
Hmm.
that's not the vibration that they carry at all. You can't
Hmm.
change that because
Hmm.
what you're saying, words are connected to sound. So no
Words
matter
are
if you
connected to
call me
sound.
a bitch and you just playing, the universe hears it as it is,
As it is.
and it
That's right.
still has the negative effect as it
That's
does.
right. That's right.
You
That's
can't
right.
change that. You can't
You
change.
can't. We think we can, but we can't. And the evidence of why we're not changing it is the way that we treat each other. It's
Mhm.
the kind of issues and disruptions that come up with one another. So the words and the sounds that they're attracted, they're connected to. If you think about some of the, I don't want to say them, but if you think about some of the words that we address each other with, and you replace them with things like sister, queen, king, brother, those have different. Is it there's a different meaning to that.
Yes,
It
they
literally
carry a
it
different
literally
vibration.
lifts you up
Yeah,
because
people
some
smile. People are
people smile.
enlightened. People, when you say that, people illuminate. You see their spirit come
Mhm.
alive.
Mhm. Mhm.
You see goodness in that person when you use words and vibrations of sound that are positive. And
Mhm.
you also see negative when you use a word that carries a negative sound or a negative vibration. You get the response from someone, you get a negative response.
Mhm. Mhm. Right. Absolutely. So, I think about you know, oh, that was probably about more than 20 years ago when I was still in Brooklyn and I worked with high school students. And, I had a couple of rules. There were certain words that I didn't want them to use in the classroom. And at first, that became a struggle because they wanted to defend the use of how, oh, what are you talking about? Oh, it's because you're old. Oh, they say any kind of thing, right? But I did something, I did a demonstration with them. Unfortunately, I can't do the demonstration here, but I can put it out there. And anyone that's listening, if you are curious, I encourage you to look it up. Muscle testing. Okay. So I decided that I would show them that the sounds that they're using and the words that they're using is actually hurting their bodies. And at first, oh, what are you talking about? You know, that's what they said. So I said, okay, I want to volunteer. I asked one of them to get up to extend, I believe their dominant hand. It was the right hand, extend it out. And I asked the rest of the class, I gave them permission, say what you say to this person. Just go ahead and call them whatever names that you use. And while they were doing it, I told the person the person who had their hand out to try to resist me from pushing their arm down
Mm-hmm.
as they were listening to these words, and they could not, because it's called muscle testing. That the sound and the meaning of the word was actually making the muscle weak. So then I told the individual, okay, I told everybody to stop. I said, okay, shake your body out. I said, now I want you all to call this person positive words.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're going to do the same thing. They extended their dominant arm out, and I said for the class to say positive things to this person. And while I was pressing the arm did not move. It's called muscle testing. We can't really demonstrate it in this form, but I encourage everyone that's interested, look it up. And that's how you can prove that the onslaught, because we in our community, it's an onslaught of negative sounds and words is actually hurting us, is actually making us physically weaker. So I'm going to say that again: testing, muscle testing. Look it up and try it out for yourself, and you will see the difference. There's also something that you could do on your own now that I'm thinking about it. And we might talk about it more later. But when you look up muscle testing, you'll see that there's one that you can do where you interlock your fingers like so and try to pull them apart again while somebody is saying something negative to you, or even while you're right muscle testing, Barbara, yeah, or even while you're thinking these things to yourself. So I would encourage everyone listening, check out muscle testing, and then check out those words and those sounds, right? And you will then see, oh, this is harming me. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll choose something else. Mm-hmm.
You can also compare that to now based on the sound and the vibration and the frequency of the music.
Oh yeah.
When you go out, you don't see people move as much. You see people standing around. You see people very dormant because of the low vibration and the sound of the music. But back in the day when we used to have a different vibration and sound of the music, happy music, people couldn't sit still.
Yes, 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 yes.
People had to, they would come right in dancing.
Right. You
Now
had to
I
dance.
noticed that when I'm out and, low vibrational music is on, people are just standing around watching
Mm-hmm.
because it doesn't move you. It
Right.
doesn't move your muscles. It doesn't move
Yeah.
your
It
soul.
doesn't
It
move you.
doesn't
And
move
it
your
doesn't
spirit.
encourage togetherness. It's
Right.
not encouraging joy. It's not encouraging celebration.
Right.
That's
And
a
so
great
you'll see that
example.
a lot of people will be standoffish. You don't see
Mm-hmm.
as much communication. You don't see
Mm-hmm.
as much interaction in these platforms.
Mm-hmm.
You see more drinking and hookah and smoking and, the different things like that. But back in our day, you didn't see a lot of that. You seen a lot of engagement,
A lot of engagement, a
a lot
lot of
of
dancing.
positive interaction,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of
Mm-hmm.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
um Somebody that you didn't have to know would come up to you and ask you to dance. They didn't have to know you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is how we develop relationships um,
Absolutely.
with people that we didn't come with. But now, people are in their individual silos, and you'll see people just talking to people that they know or people that they came with. You don't see them reaching out to new people or people who they don't know, or you
Mm-hmm.
know making new connections or new creating new relationships. You don't see that as much.
Mm-hmm. And
That's
we could,
another reason, because of the sound vibration
because of the sound
being so low.
vibration,
Yeah.
it may actually be encouraging distrust because it doesn't, it doesn't harmonize with our heart chakra and those higher frequencies. So thank you, Barbara, for sharing that you've done muscle testing with herbs to see what worked for you. Yes, muscle testing has a lot of different applications. So definitely, Barbara, you can do something, and for everyone else, you can use it to see what foods are good for you, what herbs are good for you. So again, um, for all those listening, if you're not familiar, check out muscle testing. Well, Sister Ajay, so we've been talking about sounds and words. Now, what about the sound bowls?
Mm-hmm.
How does that assist with our healing? And what are they for those who don't know?
Well, sound bowls is definitely a universal language. It speaks to your soul, it speaks to your cells, it speaks to your nervous system, it speaks to your being, the essential part of your being. Is something that communicates peace and
Mm-hmm.
love and joy and all of the essential moralities that the Creator has created us to have, before indoctrinated um, things have really been put on us or forced onto us. We have a natural communication with the universe. We have a natural synchronicity with the universe. Um, if you just walk in nature, it's like you can hear the wind, and it's like a sweet hum. It's a
Mm-hmm.
breeze that you can hear. If you listen really clearly and your mind is clear, you can hear the trees. You
Mm-hmm.
can hear the leaves. You can hear chirping, but it's different than just hearing it when you're in your carnal mind or you're in your physical body. when you transform into your more of your emotional and your mental state, you hear things differently. If you get
Hmm.
real still, you can hear a lot of the net of a lot of nature that we otherwise would not hear.
Absolutely.
That's what
Hmm.
sound bowl healing is to me. It's like a crystallization.
Hmm.
It's an illumination. It's like the sun shining on my skin in a
Mm,
or in a
I
sound.
love that. Hmm.
Um, and we are a crystal. We are a crystal. And so the bowls is made, a lot of the bowls, I can't speak to all bowls now, but a lot of the bowls, I've had mine for a long time, was made, they're crystallized.
Hmm.
Tibetan
Hmm.
bowls. I have a foot sound bowl that you stand in. It's a Tibetan bowl and it's made with indigenous coppers and minerals and silver
Mm.
and things of that nature. So that's Tibetan bowls. When I went to Thailand, all they really utilize is Tibetan bowls, and they
Hmm.
carry a high sound vibration. It's almost like a piercing. You have to surrender to these bowls. There's no way
Hmm.
you could be busy or chaotic or frantic or rushing when you hear this level of sound.
Hmm.
It arrests your soul to get you to be still.
Absolutely.
So it's just something that I resonated with. I use it for myself. I use it in my Reiki. I use it, a lot of times when I'm doing womb Reiki with, balancing a woman's womb and removing trauma and uh, what I want to say, generational trauma or rape
Hmm.
or molestation or anything like that, which has disrupt your sacral chakra or your heart chakra. Um, they have a root chakra sound bowl. All of the chakras
Mm.
come in a sound bowl. Sometimes you see people have all of the white sound bowls. Definitely that is used for purification of the soul, purifying the blood, purifying the cells, illuminating the nervous system, resetting and recalibrating the nervous system. So that is what sound bath and sound bowls are used for. Um,
Hmm.
they reset just like we recharge our phones or charge our phones. It charges your body back up. It brings your body back into equilibrium. It brings your body into homeostasis, which is balance. um they're used to rebalance you, to ground you, to center you, um to just restore you actually. So it is also a form of hurts too, just coming from the bowls. And so
Hmm.
um I love them because I can feel them. I can hear
Hmm.
them, but I can also feel them
Yeah.
vibrating or tingling in my body.
I love the vibration. I love the sound, but I love the vibration. It's just so
Yeah, and when the sound
soothing.
and the vibration comes together, it's healing.
Absolutely.
It's healing.
Absolutely.
Um, and I know when I did it on Sunday for my chakra class, and I noticed that people go into a restful sleep.
Hmm.
I seen a few people nodding off. They were just awake. I just did probably about a 10-minute, 12-minute sound bowl, a sound bath healing. But I noticed a couple people in the circle just nodding off and going into a sleep, which
Hmm.
allows you to know that they were at a rest, a
Restful state.
peaceful rest
Hmm.
because they were just awake, you know.
Hmm.
So it really allows your body to get in sync with sound. It allows your body to get in synchronicity with vibration, um, where you can wake up refreshed or you just feel alive. I
Hmm.
can only say what it does for me, but whenever I'm feeling dormant or stagnant or tired, um, I can do my sound bowl and it will definitely heighten my energy and
Hmm.
awaken,
Hmm.
awaken my soul. And so These are different natural things that different, our culture as an African culture and a lot of indigenous culture, they use. The drum is sound here.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
drum, the African drum, which is why they didn't like us to utilize the drum
Right.
during enslavement, because it awakened the soul. And they were
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep our souls in a comatose, keep our
Mm-hmm.
souls asleep, because then you can control, you can manipulate, you can put someone in fear, um,
Mm-hmm.
when their soul is in a comatose state. But when
Mm-hmm.
someone is awakened, they're alive, they're electrifying. It would be very difficult and challenging to control that person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That is definitely the reason why they restricted the drum and also restricted us from speaking our language again. The language that you speak has sound, it has meaning. So it all is connected. So
Yeah,
Sister Ajay, do you have some sound healing for us, a
I
sound healing
do, I do, I
meditation?
do, I do. And I would like to do a sacral chakra sound bath, which,
Mm-hmm.
because this is Women's Wellness Month, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like we need to rejuvenate the womb,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
since all of us are womb men. We would not
I
be
love that.
a woman without our wombs. And so I
That's
want to
right.
serenade our wombs today, since it is
Okay.
Women's Wellness Month and we're celebrating the power of women's wellness, and wealth and health. I would like everyone to put their hands on their womb if you're in
Okay.
a comfortable sit
Mm-hmm.
position, if you're sitting on the floor or you're sitting in a chair. I would like you to put two thumbs at your navel and then down into a pyramid towards your sacral space, which is your sacral chakra.
Mm-hmm.
This chakra is connected to your feelings, your emotions. Um, it's in tune with your heart chakra as well. Your womb is your second heart.
Mm-hmm.
That is why when things go on in the heart, you're affected in your femininity, in your intimacy, in your sacredness. And when things are going on in your sacral chakra, in your sacredness, in your intimacy, someone's violating you, not respecting you, not honoring you, not uplifting you, not revering you, not treating you in a queenship, then it also
Mm-hmm.
impacts and affects your heart.
Mm-hmm.
So, your sacral chakra, which we learn in Kemetic culture, is your tech, TEKH.
Mm-hmm.
We have to start speaking our own terminology and our own words to also remember who we are and reawaken to who we are. Um, that is called your tech. And then, of course, um, chakra is a Sanskrit word, which is indigenous, but going a little further back, we call our chakras Aritu,
Mm-hmm.
Aritu, when you're talking about the whole system. And then when you're
Okay.
talking about one chakra at a time, um, we say Arit, which is Arit. And so we will be doing a sound bath healing for our sacral arit, our tech arit. So I want you to put your hands on your womb, and that way you are passing the sound and the vibration. Your hands are also antennas for you to relay energy or exchange energy, and just feel the warmth in your sacral chakra. Sometimes when your chakra is dormant in that area, you will feel a cold. It may be cold there. You may not feel the warmth right off. And that means there's not a lot of energy moving in that particular chakra. And so, as women, we have to make sure that energy is moving in that chakra.
Mm-hmm.
because it has a lot to do with um, our emotions and our feelings. And when we talk about, loving ourselves, which the sacral chakra is definitely in connection with, we definitely want to tune in during Women's Wellness Month, check in with us loving on ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
unapologetically. Um, a lot of times we're meant or welcomed into always criticizing or critiquing ourselves as women, being in competition maybe with other women, and that is not a sign of wellness for us as women,
Mm-hmm.
because you are your own competition.
Mm-hmm.
No one, you're not in competition with anyone. You're only always in competition of your higher and greater and better self. That's it.
I've always felt that from the time I was younger that I competed against myself to
Yeah,
be better.
that's it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so, talking about Women's Wellness Month, I want us to definitely be meditating this month, even on Tuesdays when we're coming together as a sister circle, for the Melanated Soul Talks, is just really thinking of some ways that you can do, you know, get yourself in alignment with better wellness. Um, which ways are you participating in your women's wellness? How are you participating in your women's wellness? And how often are you
Mm-hmm.
participating in your wellness? Because we know as women that we put our wellness on the back burner for a lot of other things and a lot of other people. But in this day and time, we have to ensure and make sure that we are putting our wellness first and foremost. Not
Mm-hmm.
just your physical wellness, but also your mental wellness, which is why meditation is so important. Um, your emotional well being is very, very important, and that is definitely connected to the womb as we're talking about women's wellness, and definitely your spiritual wellness.
Absolutely.
All of them is a priority, all of them, because that's what makes you whole. Because you're not just your body, you're not just your mind, you're not just your soul, you're all of them together as one. And so when we do the sound bath, that's what we're doing. We're bringing all parts of ourselves together in unity, in
Mm-hmm.
synchronicity, in case your mind has become disconnected, in case your heart has become disconnected, in case your soul has been disconnected, which imbalances our chakras, which invites illness and disease and sickness into the body.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Okay, so
Okay.
sitting up straight, feet, if you're on a chair, feet planted and grounded on the floor. If you're in a meditation position on the floor, you're in your feet is your legs are crossed and your hands is the two thumbs is at your navel and you're down into a pyramid. If you can see me, you're here, right here. And you should feel a sense of warmth. And I want you just inhaling through your diaphragm. We're not breathing through the lungs, we're breathing through the pelvic. And so when you inhale, your pelvic, your diaphragm area is inflating, which means we're not holding our stomach in like so many of us have practiced in our lives and holding our bellies in. We're allowing our bellies to expand when we inhale. And I want you to try to inhale at least 7 seconds. And I do that because we have seven main chakras, sending energy to our root chakra, which is our feet, our knees, our legs, the base of our spine, into our sacral chakra, which we're talking about our reproductive system, our intimacy, where our love lives, our feelings lives, our emotions live, and then definitely into our our solar plex chakra, which in the African culture we would call that the OB. And your gut is also your second brain. So we want to bring some energy into that when we're breathing in. We want to send it into the heart, which definitely we know as women, when we're talking about women's wellness, our hearts get heavy. A lot of times we have a lot of emotional stress on our hearts for many different reasons. And remember, this is a safe, sacred space. So it's not for judgment. And as I'm doing the sound bath healing, and you bring the energy up to your throat chakra, you bring energy up to your first eye chakra, which is your pineal gland, and you bring energy up to your crown chakra. I want you to place your hands, once we start at the sacral, anywhere in your body that you need healing, anywhere in your body that you need energy, anywhere that you're feeling stagnant or dormant or tired, in the way of your sacral chakra, your root chakra, which is at the base of your spine. You might want to put your hands there. You might want to, if you're on the floor, you can touch your toes. If it's your gut that you know needs energy or needs attention, you can put your hand on your abdomen area. Definitely for us as women, sending some love and some energy to our heart chakra, placing your hand on your throat chakra if that's where you need attention, and definitely on your first eye or your crown chakra. As I'm doing the sound bath healing, you could put your hands anywhere that you feel like you need attention. I want you to be in a meditative state, so I don't want you so much thinking where you need attention. I want you feeling, because remember, we're doing the womb wellness. We're sacral chakra. We want to feel, because our sacral chakra is connected to our feeling and our emotions. If you need to send love and energy to all of your chakras, you're welcome to touch any part of your body as we do the sound bath healing. And we're going to start. I have here, if you want to see it, this is the orange sacral chakra sound bowl. And you can get them in any color depending on what chakra you're working with. But today we're doing sacral chakra for the womb, and that's why I have the orange sound bowl. And so each sound bowl has a different note to it, and the sacral chakra is D note. And so since we're talking about sound, you can also Google or YouTube D note, and you can pull up instrumental music from there and listen to that for sound therapy or sound healing as well. So I want to begin. Your hands again is on your sacral chakra. And I want you to slowly close your eyes and just breathe. Remember, we're inhaling 7 seconds, 1 1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000, 4. If you can get to 4, great. If you can try to get to 7, awesome. We have some people here that are beginners with meditation, and then we have some people that are advanced in meditation. But we're not judging. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey. Just feel. Okay, and so definitely hand on your sacral chakra starting, and as we go through, you can put your hand anywhere on any chakra that needs energy and attention. Here we go. Inhaling, holding at the top of your head, and exhaling out the mouth. Take in the vibration. If you was around, you probably could feel the sound, feel the energy. You're just breathing and feeling. Don't forget the rhythm of your breath. Follow your rhythm. Even if your mind begins to have thoughts, follow your breath. Hold at your crown and release through your mouth. Allowing yourself to relax. Following your breath nice and slow. Relaxing your mind from any thoughts you may be having. Breathing in from the soles of your feet up into your mid area, which is your sacral chakra, into your solar plex chakra, into your heart. Placing your hands anywhere that you need energy, anywhere that you feel stagnant. Feel, just allowing yourself to feel. We're not thinking, we're not knowing, we're not analyzing, we're just breathing. Nourishing your souls, recalibrating your nervous system, resetting and revitalizing your cellular system, restoring and resting the body. Breathing, following your breath, feeling your breath. Acknowledging your breath. Staying with your breath. Your breath is life. Your breath is love. Your breath is peace. Your breath is joy. Your breath is harmony. Your breath is happiness. It's your breath. Follow your breath. Feel what you're feeling. Whatever feeling is rising up for you, allow that feeling to come forward. Just breathe. Feel and breathe. Taking your last deep breaths. Take some slow breaths as you bring yourself back. Make sure you're still staying with the rhythm of your breath. Don't lose the rhythm of your breath. And also allow yourself to feel. When you're ready, you can move your toes, wiggle your fingers, slowly bring yourself back and allow yourself to continue the same rhythmic breath. Don't lose your breath. Stay in your zen and slowly open your eyes. And just allow yourself to continue to feel just what you were feeling during the sound wave. You are just that powerful that you can bring that right in. You don't have to lose that feeling. And you don't have to lose that breath. Whenever you get stressed, whenever you get tired, whenever you feel that you're not at your highest and greatest vibration, you can allow yourself to go back and feel the sound. Breathe in the sound and resonate with the vibration of the sound. When you're ready, everybody is at their own time. Slowly open your eyes and welcome yourself.
Hmm. Give thanks. Hmm. Oh, thank you, Sister Audrey. I think you reset everyone this evening and carry
It
that
feels so
reset
good.
with you.
It makes you feel so good. It really
Hmm.
does.
Carry that reset with you as for the rest of the evening, as you prepare to sleep and even return to it anytime during the week because this is recorded. So you have access to it. So, Sister Ajay, I thank you so much. This was a treat. So
Yes.
this is why uh, we usually do our meditations a little differently, but this time this was live and a treat. So we thank you for this during this Women's Wellness Month. Um, Before we close out, if anyone has any comments or questions, you can put them in the chat box now. I'll give like a couple of minutes to see if anyone has any questions or comments. And while we're waiting for that, I want to remind you that Sister Ajay and myself, you can contact us. There will be a flyer with a QR code that will be on the screen for a couple of minutes after we end the live stream. You want to reach out to Sister Aja. She's in the Atlanta area. If you want sound bowl healing in person, I actually prefer you talk about what you offer, Sister Aja, because you can do it much better than I can. Let the sisters know um, what what you can offer them.
Yes. Um, man, I'm still in my sound bowl feeling right now.
Oh, so
I gotta snap. I gotta snap out of it right
you got
quick.
to step out of it, even though you don't
Yeah.
want to step out of it.
We really do sound bowl when we do Reiki.
Hmm.
Sometimes when women come here to vaginal steam and they have had a lot of trauma in a relationship or any kind of abuse or anything like that, I do sound bowl to reset
Hmm.
the
Hmm.
steam. So it's used as a healing tool for different things.
Hmm.
It's never just a set thing. It's really based on the energy and what is needed, the healing, excuse me, that is needed.
Hmm. Hmm.
But
Hmm.
the sacral chakra sound bowl stays here because that's really where we focus at. And that's as women, that's where a lot of our imbalances are
Hmm.
on a mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical level. And so, but usually I use somatic therapy headphones and Hertz music while they're on the steam as well, if I have welcomed them into their signature frequency. But
Hmm.
let them hear that while their pores and skin and tissues and blood and organs are getting, detoxed and healed. So it's really a spirit led thing for
Hmm.
me. As far as what modality I utilize when they're here,
Hmm.
the chakra classes that I do is to help people better understand how the mind, the body, the spirit, the soul, and emotions are all tied together as one. And we use vaginal steaming to reset all of the systems. We're just
Hmm.
utilizing the vaginal canal to bring in the medicinal benefits and the medicinal healing of the herbs because the herbs have a sacred intelligence
Mm-hmm.
And because we are sacredly intelligent, we communicate with the herbs, the plant medicine. And that is how the plants go in and balance you in every area that you don't even know you need balancing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Of course, we cross bloodlines, we enter into lineages and bloodlines also, because you are the womb of many wombs.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't just arrive here on your own. You came through a womb who came through a womb who came through a womb who came through a womb. And so for all the wombs that didn't get to heal, we sit for them as well. So that is
Mm-hmm.
the rites of passage ceremony for um, the vaginal steam. We call it a
Mm-hmm.
detox, because it's actually detoxing your mind, your body, and your soul through your
Mm-hmm.
vaginal canal.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The
Ashe.
Reiki is there to, remove any negative energy that you may have before you get on the steam. Is which why we have the Reiki. The chakra balancing can also include the sound bowl. It also includes putting crystals on your body in alignment with your chakras.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And usually when I do that for women, they go into a sleep as well. Um, and then of course we do the abdominal massage to get the toxins and bad bacteria and impurities and get everything called up, because as women we are dormant in a lot of places,
Mm-hmm.
especially our womb area. As we're talking about women's wellness, our womb is holding a lot of our trauma and a lot of our
Mm-hmm.
imbalanced emotions, our anger, our resentment, our unforgiveness, our lack of love, um, a lot of different emotions that we have stored in our womb, and that's how our womb becomes sick.
Mm-hmm.
That's how things grow in the womb. That's how we have a lot of disharmony in our emotions, is because we need to cleanse and rid ourselves and rebalance our sacredness, our divinity, and
Mm-hmm.
our femininity. And so this is all the reasons why we do the vaginal steam. No matter what you've heard about yoni steam or vaginal steaming, we really do it from a rites of passage
Mm-hmm. Ashe.
and a
Ashe.
sacred ceremony, just to return back to your sacred self. Because as women, we have not been taught how to connect with our sacredness,
Mm-hmm.
and we have to relearn that, because we didn't go through our rites of passage. And so this is a way that we welcome ourselves back and reconnect back to our sacredness, so our wombs can begin to intuitively guide us and lead us and direct us on our path to our divine destiny. Yeah.
Okay. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. So we're about to close up for this evening. You can contact Sister Ajay again. When I put the flyer up at the end, you can scan the QR code. You can also contact me as well if you would like a reading, if you would like some coaching. You can work with me remotely in Zoom in terms of assisting you with one on one work to perhaps identify areas where you might be self sabotaging your own um, goals and achievement. I can work with you on that. So I'm going to say thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Sister Ajay, for the sound bowl healing.
Welcome.
And we will see you all next week. Have a
Yeah,
wonderful rest of your evening and carry this energy with you.
absolutely. Peace
Okay.
and blessings, love and light.
Peace and blessings. Okay.
Not too late to conversate. smile upon thy face. It's not too late to recognize we're all one people, we're all one mind. Yeah, we need to stop all the violence and all the separation. Spread love and peace all across the nation. 'Cause we got to live together, yeah. And we won't survive if we don't help each other. We don't need no more hate through generations. We need to practice more unification. So why can't we make it right for life so we can all survive? And if we could all just learn to love one another, no one else would suffer. We're all in it together. No matter who's against us, no matter who's for us, our voices would be louder. No one could ignore us. The world would be different, and more would be gifted. Not where they drifted. And so many missed it. With so many stuck in their ways, living out their days with really no peace. We can make it so much better now than the world that we see. It's not too late to conversate, to put a smile upon thy face. It's not too late to recognize we're all one people, we're all one mind. It's not too late to elaborate, to spread more love and not more hate. It's not too late to conglomerate. Let's make this world